All we saw was fire, fire, fire. We're losing our minds. We closed out the night. We left. Next day, I'm up in the lab, and fire engines come to UCLA, to the Neuropsychiatric Institute where our lab was. That room we were using caught fire. There was a short in an outlet behind one of the curtains. It sparked. It caught the curtain on fire. It was the next morning following our thing in the previous night. What? So no wonder why it was imminent, yeah. What does that mean? I don't know. But what it says to me is information is accessible. And again, there's a good amount of evidence developing that our long-term memories are not stored in our brains. And they may be stored in a remote power field, like a zero-point power field. If this is true, that means by the way in which we recall events on a daily, on a minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis, we're accessing information remote from our own brain. If this is true, and I've got a funny feeling it is, that means that it's not paranormal. It's all what we are. It's the whole thing is, again, why do some people have a proliferation of these events like I've had and others don't? I worked on a case from 2005 to 6 up on Cielo Drive, right down the road from the Sharon Tate murder case took place. I went there 21 times. I got sick there 19 times. I had to go to the hospital afterwards. The geomagnetic field there was so high, the amplitude was so high that it made me sick every time I went there. So I stopped going. Now, what's interesting about this is that ever since then, I have not gone back since, physical phenomena has been manifesting around me. Let's see, a big glass cup exploded, not into shards of crisp glass or whatever, but into powder. From what? I don't know. A suit disappeared. A pair of shoes disappeared. 3 large bottles of medication disappeared. My phone disappeared for a while. My friend was over when I was out of town. I didn't want my place left alone, and he was there with his girlfriend, and her earbuds disappeared. And weeks later, when I was back, they flew at me and hit me in the back of my head, back of my neck.
And you were the only one in the room?
Correct. And then it was early 2015. My cleaning lady came over one day. I was then taking a shower, and I'm in the shower, and I hear her banging on the door, Barry. So I thought, oh, my God, something bad must have happened. So I jump out, sopping wet, put my robe on, run out. What's the matter? She goes, I saw you on your computer. Yeah, it was. And no, I saw you on it now. What? I turned in your bedroom, and I saw you on the computer. Yeah, but I saw it now. But you're in the shower now. And she goes, I don't like this. It's scaring me. The last I saw of her.
I wonder why. I wouldn't come back.
But it didn't threaten her in any way. It didn't offer potential harm to her. I was there watching a movie one night with a friend of mine was in town, and suddenly this blue ball goes rolling across the floor. I never owned a blue ball. She's like, what's that? Boom. One time I was taking out some medication before I went to bed. I put it on my desk. I'm going to go get some water. Come back, they're gone. The pills are gone. They're on the floor. Nope, in the wastebasket. No, they rolled somewhere. No, they fell off the... No. So I got out 3 more and took them. Months later, I'm up in the kitchen removing a bad light bulb on a ladder. And as I'm just about to come down, I look and I see there something on top of the refrigerator, which I could not see standing there. It was taller than I am. And it was on the gasket connecting the door to the fridge. The 3 pills that vanished were on top of the refrigerator gasket.
Oh, wow.
oxidized. I was coming down to my car. This is in 2014, and the seatbelt had been removed from its locked position above the seat on the left, the driver, and had been tied in a knot and then put back where it was started from. That means I couldn't have done. Whatever did this had to just unmount it, put a knot in it, and then put it back on the wall of the car. I don't know. These things happen. Why it all seems to follow being at the Cielo Drive case 21 times, and I think something altered me there.
Interesting.
And,
now, you're not talking about the Oman house, are you?
Unfortunately, I am, yes.
Okay.
I try not to use his name as much as I can.
Okay, I apologize.
You know, it was a very unique case. Reason I kept going back, because it helped clarify a lot of the data we'd collected over the years. But it was over the course of when I was there, there were over 26 or 27 people came through there, all younger than I, and none of them had pre-existing conditions, and all of them became ill while there.
Wow. Now, a question I want to ask you real quick, because I have you to 8:30. Can you hang around to 8:45 by any chance?
No problem.
Okay, because my co-host is really quiet, James Kirschbaum. You're his idol. He was telling me that, since he was 10 years old, that, you are like God to him. So he has some questions here after the break, but we got about 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes before the break, so we can continue. I just wanted to ask you.
Okay. Well, what this all comes down to is, what if, in other words, this is online. There are some things about the UCLA parapsychology. There's 2 short interviews I did, and I opened one of them by saying, "What if we developed a machine that could see the future independent of our own mind, meaning operate similarly, but the images are not within our head. Here, they're in a machine like a television. What if we saw the future? What is the future we could not change?" The thing is, if the probability of ever having an accurate precognition, if it's chance, is astronomical. You'd never have it. Like 1 in a billion. I've had too many. The day JFK was inaugurated, about my parents' money, he'd be killed around Thanksgiving of '63. When he was, my parents didn't talk to me for a couple of weeks. A girl I was dating in 1970, I met her in college. I was Upper Division College, and beautiful girl. And so the dreams came, and the dreams were always the same. The dream came, I'm in the back seat. I see Sharon, the girl, in the passenger seat. I couldn't see the dashboard of the car. The driver had dark hair, which I do, or did. We turned down the cul-de-sac to get to her house. A much bigger car comes flying out. Wham! Glass and fire, and it's pretty horrible. And Sharon's all bloody. I went, well, and the dream kept occurring over and over. So I thought, well, if I do nothing, we could die together, which is something I don't want to do. And I said, well, if I stop seeing her, that'll solve that problem. Well, I was wrong. I stopped seeing her. She didn't like what I told her. She thought I was lying because she lived in Northridge. Big deal. And those gas was, 24 cents a gallon? Who cares? I had a great car. It was a lot of fun. We got along well together. Anyway, she got really pissed and walked away from me. Well, better a separate than being dead. So eventually she started dating someone else. And they're coming to her house one night after a date, and a large car pulls out, hits them. The driver, her new boyfriend, is killed, and she is badly injured. Now, did I change the future because of my impression of what's going to happen, or did in other words, or was I never in the driver's seat? My ego put me there. I didn't know if it was me. All I saw was the back of a head with dark hair. So, what could I have done to change it? Asked her to move to West LA, where I lived. Yeah, that would have worked. It's the what if. During our groups, there was a woman that came in. We didn't know who she was. Beautiful woman. Her name was Roberta. She gave the target, the name Al. Alan, Al, whatever, Alfred. We describe a tall man, brown hair, blue eyes, strange voice, violent, explosively, very depressed, blah, 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 blah. And the whole bit. So, turns out she was the wife of Albert Salmi, the actor. You might know who he was in 3 Twilight Zone episodes. He was in almost everything. And one of the things we said was that he was violent. He was beating her, which he was. And we said, if he's going to kill you and kill himself. No, you're just... Okay, not that long thereafter, he killed her and killed himself. It's like, if you're different, but in ways we understand. You're an athlete, you're a famous physician, you're a writer, you're a scientist, you're a producer, director, an actor, whatever. You're building better rockets to go to the moon. People, okay, that's different. You make this, okay. But if you're different in a way that is unlike the way other people are different, people they back away from you. 1973, I met a girl in the lab named Carol, beautiful brunette with big blue eyes, looked like a young Shirley MacLaine. We were dating, long story short. I'm talking to her in her place, and I said, oh, there's a tumor. And I showed her where it was, and she goes, how can you see that? It's inside of me. I said, well, it's there. But I said, she goes, I don't want to hear it. I go, well, it's benign. How do you know? I don't see calcium around it. Because what are you talking about? Are you crazy? And, started a new job. She finished her degree, had a medical workup for insurance purposes. They found a lump, which she didn't notice. It was benign. It was right where I showed it to her. She goes, I can't be around you. I feel like I could have some secrets, and I don't know what you're going to tell me that might scare the hell out of me. I can't be around you. It's, remember the guy, Jose Escamilla, the rods guy?
Yes.
Well, he was an old friend of mine. I met him a long, long time ago. Anyway, he introduced me to this beautiful girl named Jody, and so we met for dinner one night. It was a blind date, and she was very attractive. So we're talking, and she said, your friend said that you're psychic, like, what can you do? I said, well, I could diagnose you. Yeah, okay, what's wrong with me? And I said, well, you got a follicular cyst your left ovary, you have endometriosis, and you have some lower GI problems. I said, what? I have what? She went. So I told her. She went to her OBGYN. Yeah, she had the follicular cyst left ovary. She had endometriosis, and she did have a lower GI problem.
Oh,
but
wow.
the doctor said, how did you know this? I go, well, she was next to me, and we were talking, and she asked the question.
That's very interesting. Hey, we need to go on break. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. We'll have Dr. Barry Taff on, and then I know James, after we finished on this, has a couple questions he's dying to ask you. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Okay.
Sun diving for a dream, scintillas in the stream, hoping for what's true. I'm trawling for honor in this shallow pool. Borealis starlit crown arches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to where is my lucky star tonight? The seventh sister